Hey guys, welcome to another video. I really appreciate you joining me today. Today I'm going to do a review on a high-end shoe from a new brand to me, Speedland. This review is going to be on the Speedland SL HSV. Speedland is a new shoe brand that was introduced a little over a year ago out of Portland, Oregon. It was started by a couple of shoe designers that had worked for multiple large companies, and they decided to branch out on their own and start their own shoe company, and they decided to do it uncompromising. They used the most expensive or the finest materials they can discover for each of the components of the shoe, and to that end the price of the shoe does get rather expensive. The first shoe they came out with was the SL PDX that came out, like I said, just a little over a year ago. It had a Dyneema upper, which is a high-end material that's real lightweight, extremely strong and durable. It's used in a lot of Dyneema. I've seen them a lot in high-end camping tents. A lot of people that are like hiking the Appalachian Trail use their camping tents because they're extremely durable and very lightweight. And the material is known for being, I think it's 4 times as strong as steel. So very durable material. So they use that in the upper. They put a BOA system on the shoes that allows you to lock in the fit. You're able to dial it in. It uses an Michelin outsole rubber, a very sticky compound. The midsole is made up of, you got right on top of the outsole, there's a small, like 4 to 5 millimeter hard EVA, but then the way you really do it is you slide into the shoe this insole, which is also the midsole. And this is a P-Bax midsole. So it slides in there. It's one of the more bouncy things. It's what's found in a lot of the high-end carbon fiber plated road shoes. So they've used P-Bax. In addition to that, they've added a carbon fiber plate, a removable carbon fiber plate, which is Carbitex. Now theirs is a flexible plate, but it gives a little bit of pop, and it also, I find, gives a little bit of protection, like a rock plate would from on the trails. Now the version that I have is actually the HSV, which came out probably 6 months ago, and in this version it's still very similar to the original PDX, but they updated the BOA to use aluminum knobs instead of plastic knobs. They added a gator trap the front, and there's a little hook on the front for your gator, and they made the rubber even a little bit more sticky, so it'll perform better in wet conditions. One of the things I will say about this BOA system, it is really great for locking in your foot. You pull on it and it releases the thing to make it loose, so you can easily slip off your shoes. You pop it into place and then you can crank it down to fit your foot. They've also used an upgraded BOA in that a lot of BOAs will just either release or they lock it down. This will also let you, it's 2 ways. You can back it off and make it a little bit looser. So if you want to lock it down and then you're heading up a hill or a technical region, you can make it a little tighter to really hold the foot in place. And then when you get on a flatter thing, you can just back it off a click or 2 to make it a little bit looser and more comfortable. So it's a very flexible system. So those are the primary differences with the HSV version. I will say my thoughts on these, I was really very hesitant, not thinking I would spend, they sell for $375, and I was not planning to spend that much on a pair of shoes. But I had a friend, Darren, who is one of the owners of Trailhead Running Supply, that had a pair, and he didn't think they were quite cushioned enough for him. He usually tends to prefer higher cushion shoes like Hoka's or Ultra Olympuses. So these he just thought were just not cushion enough for him, so he gave them to me. Well, I was pretty excited to try out the high-end materials and the high-end shoe without paying for it. So I've been trying it out and I enjoy it. I have about 50 miles on my pair. I've used them in a couple of trail races. I ran in the Nob Hills half marathon. They performed really well. There's some flat sections on that, and they actually moved really well across the flat sections, and there were some rocky sections. I couldn't feel the plate a whole lot, but I think it might have been giving me a little bit of propulsion because I was feeling pretty quick across the flat areas. And I do think with the plate in, it's pretty protective of rocks. The other race I used them in was the Lake Murray endurance run. It's in southern Oklahoma, and there it was extremely muddy out. And I will say that the grip on these shoes is phenomenal. They have 6mm Michelin lugs, and you actually have the ability to customize it and cut the lugs down by like 2mm or 3mm if you're only going to run in dry conditions. I've chosen not to do that because once you cut them, you really can't put it back. So for me, I think I'm going to use these a lot when the conditions are wet or muddy, because the grip was phenomenal. There were people sliding and falling down a lot at Lake Murray. I won't say that I didn't slip at all, but I never fell, which is pretty incredible for that trail race. It was a 25K that I did, but it was very muddy. But anyway, I enjoyed the shoe. I found them comfortable and bouncy. I love the lockdown. It's phenomenal, and that grip is phenomenal. I will say that they are about to come out with a new version, a new shoe from Speedland, which will be their GSTAM. In that one, they're going to add more cushioning. This actually, it's P-backs, but it has a 25mm stack height in the heel and a 23mm stack height in the forefoot. I find it very comparable in cushioning to probably my Ultra Lone Peaks. The new shoe that they're going to come out with will definitely be higher stack. What they're really going to do is use this exact same insole midsole. It'll slide into the shoe, but then at the bottom, right above the outsole, instead of having just 4 or 5mm of hard EVA, they're going to have another good stack of P-backs. So it's going to make the overall, I think the stack height is going to be 30 in the forefoot and 37 in the heel. So they're definitely adding some cush to the new version of the shoe. The new version of the shoe, the GSTAM, is also going to list for $275. I think they are getting some savings through economies of scale as they produce more shoes. The GSTAM will not actually include the carbon plate, but you can buy one for $35. So the shoe will still be a good bit cheaper than this SL HSV. Anyway, I have found it interesting. I've enjoyed the shoe. I'm hoping it's going to last a really long time because this outsole rubber seems tough, and that upper should last like forever with the Dyneema knit upper. So I'm looking forward to a lot of use out of the shoe. As far as whether it's worth it or not, that's up to you. There is a lot of high-end materials. I understand why it costs kind of what it does, but it is still a lot of money to pay for a pair of shoes. Anyway, that is kind of my review of the Speedland SL HSV. I hope you found it interesting. If you liked the review, please consider giving the video a thumbs up, a like. If you're interested in more of my content, where I do running shoe reviews, I do other running product reviews, and then I talk a lot about my training and the races that I run. If you're interested in any more of that, please consider subscribing to my channel. And other than that, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and keep moving.